Can you guys hear me? Is my mic on? I just need to know if my mic. What the heck? It's my light turned to color, not even. Yeah. Yes. Oh gosh. How do I face you guys after this? Huh. So we're gonna go live again tomorrow night. All right. So I'm not gonna necessarily go over a bunch of things because I had a lot that I wanted to go over, but I figure, I mean, it's not like it's news that's like breaking news or anything like that. It's more so just things to react to and, you know, just talk about certain people's quotes when it comes to the Spurs and Wemby mostly. So, and I just figure we can do that tomorrow night. Look, we all got to go either to school or work tomorrow, whatever. Let's just spend some time talking about this game. We'll start off with the stats of this game, and then I'll just we can do a whole other segment on what's going on. This was the worst loss for me. I know people will bring up the Memphis loss, bring up some of the blowouts. Now, this one was the worst. This one felt awful. And it felt awful because it felt like one of our more complete games. But it's what comes with the territory, man. This is what comes with the territory of a young team. Hold on. And before we get into that, let me see. Spurs. Let's go 20, because I do want to compare something. And this will be for later. 2022, 2023. Wait, why don't we go to Muse? Muse is a great website, isn't it? NBA. Yeah, NBA stats. Here we go. Let's see. Spurs versus Hawks record. I want each game. Sorry, you guys can see what I'm doing. I'm trying to look up each individual game. Here we go. This is for a reason. Let's see. Gosh, I don't even remember beating the Atlanta Hawks last season, but that was later into the season. Wait, why is it showing the same date? Am I missing something? Why is this showing? Oh, no, it's not. It's showing a year later. It was literally a year later. Okay. All right. Anyways, yeah, this game, awful. So let me just go over it. So first and foremost, how did our San Antonio Spurs play? Well, ladies and gentlemen, they actually played extraordinarily well. Offensively, extraordinarily well. Defensively, I was always kind of taken aback. I was like, I don't know. Defensively, I don't know. But overall, oh no, we're not doing this. Hold on. There's no way. There is no way I'm getting some people blaming Jeremy Sochan for this loss. Are you serious? There's no way. Ruru, no. There is no way I'm getting people blaming Jeremy Sochan for this loss. Is this what's going on Twitter too? There's no way. Oh my God. There is absolutely no way. Because the ending, first off, I don't think that was a charge. Second, that was really silly. But third, like, I guess first and second was like the same thing. But thirdly, I'll say it anyway. He put himself in that situation. Sochan got the steal at the end. And to even be down by 2, he hit a huge 3 in the corner. What? We're blaming Sochan? If we're just gonna blame like 12 and 13-year-olds on this team, then just screw it, dude. Just blame everybody. Blame Wemby. Wemby took some bad shots at the end. Hey, whatever. The 19-year-old, he had it coming to him. Let's just blame him. Like, let's just blame anybody. Let's just blame any kid on this team. Are we serious? That sophomore performed like that, and you guys are talking like this. Dude, get out of here with that. Get out of here with that. No, you get out of here with that. How many points did Sochan have? Like 30? He had 33 points. He was 12 for 14? He was 12 for 14 and you're blaming Sochan for the loss? He had a steal. Where did that steal come from? Are we serious? There's no way. There's no way, dude. There's no way. There's no way. It doesn't matter. I'm convinced that a lot of people just don't like Sochan. I'm convinced. I know that might sound bad faith of me just to make that assumption, but I don't know. I don't know. The things that I've heard about Jeremy, I've heard that he's selfish. I've heard that he wants all the attention. I've heard that he's a trash player. I heard trade him. I've heard so many things this season. Screw it. I don't know. I think you guys just don't like Sochan. I think that's it. I think you guys just don't like Sochan. Like, literally. And then everyone says, throw the lob to Wemby. Well, you know what? Sochan's still learning. He's still learning how to have a little bit more poise as a point guard. It's really difficult. And then on top of it, it's like, he tried. You saw what happened when he tried? He's aware of his own abilities, all right? Good God. Good God, dude. Anyways, I can't. Wow. Yeah, so him. It's just irritating, dude. There's no way. Is this what's going on Twitter? This is not going on Twitter, is it? Okay, it's just this comment. Everything else, okay. At least under my, this is just my tweet. I haven't been paying attention to anybody else. Let me see. I just hope that we all can be pretty level-headed with this game and not blame. Oh God, I forgot about him. This is actually why it hurts the most. This dude sucks. He's not as bad as Rockets fans. There's a few Rockets fans on Twitter that are terrible, like wishing like injuries on our team. Top Op is just like kind of dumb. He just kind of doesn't like know things. Like he thought the last time the Spurs won a championship was the 90s. Like he's just kind of dumb. Dang. Here, I'll give him some. I'll give him some credit. Hold on, let's do the shrug. We'll give him a little shrug. Like, ah, hey, what else can I say? He's him. Where's the shrug? Where's the little shrug guy? Don't tell me I have to actually type in. Hold on. Where's the shrug? Ah, there he is. Wait, I want to change. I don't want him to be yellow. Oh well. Did I spell Trae Young wrong? No, I didn't. It's Trae, right? Wait. Am I tripping? Yeah, it's Trae. So I should have said Trae Young. Young? What? Huh? I'd rather blame Malaki for this loss. Okay, guys, look, you can't just blame. There's no one to blame for this loss. You know who? There is one person to blame, and we'll talk about that in a minute, okay? So there's one thing you can blame, but right now we'll just look at the stats really quick. None of it matters. All right, just know that Sochan had a phenomenal game. Basically perfect. Like this stat line is kind of ridiculous. The 5 turnovers isn't great, but the fouls, they were kind of BS. Like there were some tic-tac fouls that they should not have called. It was ridiculous. But 33 points, 12 for 14, 3 for 3 from 3, which his 3-point shooting has improved so much. Guys are going to have to actually guard him. And once they start coming up on him, dude, it's going to be so nasty. It is going to be so nasty once they actually start guarding him and paying attention to him. Because right now, the report is still leave Sochan open. And you can tell that that's the report that they're getting before these games. Leave him open, because they're leaving him open a lot. And I think as the season goes on, maybe near, I would say all-star break, I think teams will have to start making adjustments there. But he has improved tremendously. When he's open, I'm pretty convinced that he's going to hit a shot. All right, he's going to hit his shot. It's kind of, it's funny because it's like when Fasel is guarded, I'm convinced he's going to hit his shot. But when Sochan is open, I feel like he's going to hit his shot. So he had a phenomenal game, all-around great game. Wasn't one-dimensional at all. 8 rebounds, 6 assists, a steal that was at the end that was very clutch. We got a bright future. We got a bright future. And one of his threes was clutch as well. So we got a very bright future. If we can get to a point where hopefully we get another point guard that's, going to do his thing in this upcoming draft. But if we can get to a point where either Sochan, Wemby, and sure, Wemby's going to have to show it, but he showed it in France, but he's going to have to show it once he's in the NBA, or in the NBA. But if Sochan, Wemby, and Fasel can be a legitimate threat at the end of games to finish it off, we got a really great problem on our hands, okay? If we have to figure out who takes the last shot, that's a great problem to have on our hands. We had that with Tony, Manu, and Tim, and hopefully we can have it with those three and another player that we can pick up. But overall, pretty great game all the way around. Malaki wasn't great. Like, don't get me wrong. He didn't play a lot of minutes. He played 17 minutes. Missed his shots, but defensively, I thought he was pretty decent, actually. He was better than I expected defensively, especially matched up against Trae Young. He was on Trae Young quite a few times. He didn't look terrible. And I know some people have said, because I did see this, but I figured it was trolling, but saying, oh, Sochan defensively, he was terrible going against Trae Young. He actually wasn't guarding Trae Young the entire game. Nor did he do a terrible job. This was just a lot. Okay, Sochan has had, I know we talked about this before. Did I bring this up? I don't even know if we did a video on this. I do so many of them, but let me show you something. I want to show you so you know I'm not just saying things. Here we go. No, I think I did bring this up in a video. Yeah, so top 10 in matchup difficulty, he's 2 in the entire league. So Jeremy Sochan, every given night, he's getting the most difficult player to guard. And overall, like, while he struggled, I've come to the conclusion that he can guard 1 through 5, but 1 is more so like on occasion. It's not something that he can do on a consistent basis. He's better 3 through 5, I think, where he can really lock someone down. But 1 through 5, maybe not necessarily, just on occasion. He's not like a Kawhi Leonard that can legitimately guard like 1 through 4. It's not really like that. So Lonnie over Branham. Branham's a sophomore, guys. Lonnie is, what year is this for Lonnie? What year is this for Lonnie? 4, 5? What year is Lonnie in? Do you guys know? I legitimately don't know. I think it's 5. Oh, it's literally one person saying Lonnie over Branham. I didn't even notice that. Daniel, shut up. Yeah, yeah, shut up. Thank you. I'm pretty sure Ruru just deleted that. Thank you. Anyways, play Barlow. Yeah, that would be nice, but hey, it is what it is. All right, anyways, but overall, I thought that we did a pretty good job. All things considered, offensively, they were there. Defensively, we literally got torched by one guy. And I know this is going to sound super sour, okay? And especially after you lost, saying something like this, what I'm about to say, people are going to be like, oh man, oh my God, you just hating just to hate. Let me say this though, okay? Just all honesty. Dejounte Murray, I'm happy he's not on this team anymore. I mean, I'm just going to be real with you. I am absolutely happy he is not on this team anymore. Did you guys notice? I don't know if you saw it, but did you guys notice how he just embarrassed Bogdanovic? Like, because Bogdanovic, he took the ball out, he passed it to Dejounte, but he should have passed it to Trae Young. Dejounte passed it to Trae Young, turned around and just went in on him. Like, it was ridiculous. It was so, and because he's not as popular as someone like LeBron James or something like that, like, no one's gonna notice it, no one's gonna talk about it, no one cares. But dude, he is a jerk. I'm sorry, he's a jerk. And the amount of shots that he took at the end, really just trying to show out Wemby. Like, really, it was very contested shots. It was bad shots to take. I think he was just trying to get a clip on Wemby. Like, I thought, I don't know. It just seems so selfish. But Trae Young, I thought, alone really torched it. Dejounte hit a big shot at the end, too, by the way. Because Dejounte is clutch. He is clutch. That corner shot was huge on Zach Collins. So, yeah, and I just knew that was going in. When I saw Zach Collins on him, I was like, yeah, that's going in. But yeah, just overall, I just thought Dejounte was such a jerk in this game. Like, I don't know. I didn't like that. I mean, he just went in on his teammate. And he was like, dude, come on. It's not that sick. Come on, get back on offense. Like, what are you doing? Yeah. And by the way, not trying to be bitter at all. Just being honest. Hawks aren't doing anything. But with that being said, I mean, obviously we aren't either. But with that being said this year. But Trae Young was phenomenal. Like, he was absolutely phenomenal. They put him to the line maybe a little too often. All right, that's way too many times that he was at the line. It was a lot of questionable whistles, but to have 45 points, 14 assists, I mean, he was on fire. He torched us at the end. His amount of poise, it was just nice. But yeah, just wanted to go over this. It's really nothing to really talk about. Wemby, he had a really solid game, but at the end, you know, he struggled a little bit, which is fine. You know, young player, it is what it is. But man, these numbers are just godly. Okay, this is not normal, guys. It's not normal for every given night for a guy to have 4 blocks, 2 steals. This is not normal. This doesn't happen. He shouldn't be doing this early in his NBA career. He shouldn't be this good. Offensively, he got a lot of things to work on. Obviously, everyone knows that. But man, he is so elite. Defensively, he is so elite. And he should be Rookie of the Year. All right. Okay. Enough of that. Julian was really good too. And hopefully Devin Vassell can just get the start now. Just give him the start. I mean, I know theoretically it doesn't really matter, but can we just give him the start? I don't know. And I want to talk about Keldon, but I think I should probably, when I go on my rant, I probably should mention Keldon in the rant. No, I'm not. Keldon Johnson had a pretty decent game. Obviously 8 for 15, not bad by any means. 22 points. I mean, he had a good game offensively, but there's in rebounds. Yeah, he had a double. Good job by Keldon. But there was a point where, and I notice this every single game at this point, and I don't know if anyone else is noticing it, but it seems as if the Spurs at some point in these games, they get to a point where they kind of lose track of what they're doing. Like, they lose track of what they were doing to get the league, what they were doing to be successful. And I'll be honest in saying Keldon's a big part of that. It's almost like clockwork, dude. He will take the ball and he will take contested shots, or he would take the ball and it would just become stagnant. It's not all on him. This is not like this is a Keldon Johnson problem. Not necessarily. I think it's more of a young team problem, but gosh, it's very frustrating. And I notice it every single game. And it usually happens in the third quarter at some point. But it happens, it's every single game now. Devin at the 6 does look fire, immediate impact to score. Devin is one of those players that you put him on any team and he'll be successful. It doesn't really matter. You put him in any, I mean, he got to play shooting guard, obviously, but you put him in any like position as far as coming off the bench or starting, he'll be successful. But no, he definitely needs to start. He definitely needs to start. He needs to be an immediate threat once the game begins. But I think it's because of that injury, they're still kind of weighing it out. And I guess it's good experience for Malaki too. DeJounte was right, clan. About what? DeJounte just say things, bro. And it's not always about whether you're right or you're wrong. It's more so about what's your intention behind it, okay? Because me and someone else could be completely right, you know, about the same thing, but the intent kind of matters, or your conclusion kind of matters too, you know? Like Dejounte Murray, you can't give him credit for being right about anything when it comes to the Spurs, because it was out of bitterness. It was lame. It was, I don't know. It was, yeah, just don't give him credit about anything as far as the Spurs are concerned. He literally went on an anti-Spurs podcast with the biggest Spurs hater of all time, to say that they held him back and he should have got the start day one. Like, no. And in this game, I mean, he took like so many mid-range shots, which is fine. Mid-range shots are good. Wemby took a lot of them too, but that's kind of his game. But man, yeah. And by the way, percentage wise, like I said, offensively, we were there. 54% basically, 44%, and then 91% from free throws. But they took so many more. Well, no, they didn't. Just Trae Young did. God, it was literally just Trae Young, wasn't it? Yeah, it was literally just Trae Young. Whew. What a rough one, guys. What a rough one. Five years of development and another 5 years development at this rate. Okay. I don't know how to go. Like, okay, 5 years of development. Who are we talking about? Like on this team, who are we talking about? Like development wise? Are we talking about like Vassell, Keldon? Is that it? I mean, seriously though. Actually, let's look at salary, because that's a better way to kind of see who's on the team and the years they got left and all that good stuff. Yeah, so 5 years of development. Like, who are we talking about? Like Keldon and Vassell, right? Like, no, it's not 5 years of development. It hasn't been that long of developing just two players, and that has worked, because Vassell has been phenomenal and definitely deserves what he's getting ready to get paid. So like, yeah, I don't know what you're talking about. The team as a whole. Who has been developing for 5 years on the team as a whole? You understand we got the youngest team in the NBA. After DeRozan left, we tried to develop with Murray and Keldon. I feel like Murray was more so just to prop him up so we could trade him. We traded Murray. Yeah, no, that was the point. So we could trade him. You understand if we didn't trade Murray that we wouldn't have got Wemby, right? Like, the Spurs had their eyes on Wemby for a long time. They were going to tank for Wemby. They propped up Murray and gave him the most usage so his numbers would be a little conflated. He made an all-star game. It worked. And then his value was stupid high. And then they traded him. We spent those years developing Murray and traded him for picks. We developed... Okay, listen. Yes, for pick. Wait, are you complaining or are you just saying the obvious? Yeah, we developed Murray so he could get to the point where he was at. Spurs realized they couldn't win with Murray as their star player, so they helped him as far as giving him the most usage. He did great in that role as being the main guy, but obviously it wasn't good enough to win anything. The Spurs knew that, so they could tank for Wemby. They were going to trade him and tank to get Wemby, and it worked. We helped Murray's value by developing. You develop everyone. Yes, Clan, I understand that. What are we talking about then? Are you complaining? I don't know if you're complaining or not. We should now use those assets for Murray to get another star player. Then what are we talking about? Am I just tripping? Am I just on edge tonight? Hold on. Let me see. Why did I respond this way? What was the first thing you said? Yeah, the first thing you said was 5 years of development and another 5 years development at this rate. I have no idea what. I don't know what the complaint is. I don't know. It wasn't 5 years. I have no idea what to say. I don't know. I don't know what you want. I don't know. Swish Hill's here. Biggest asset from the Murray trade was our own pick. So ask yourself, what's the better return? Dejounte Murray or Wembanyama? 2 first picks, a swap, and a protected first. There you go. We traded Dejounte Murray for one of the greatest prospects to ever walk this earth. 2 firsts, a swap, and a protected first. So we can accelerate the team building a little bit more. I have no idea what. I don't even know what the conversation is anymore. I'm sorry. P-Mart, if I went at you and I shouldn't have, I apologize. I thought you were complaining. I'm sorry. Man, even a point guard ain't solving our issues. We need 3-and-D players. Oh, Ruru, for sure. Like, yeah, we need a point guard, and then we need one more defensive player. More than likely a small forward. Kind of fill that void that Kawhi left, for sure. Riding these young guys, delaying the process. Okay, I'm completely lost. P-Mart, I don't know what your take is. I'm completely lost, my guy. Riding these young guys, delaying the process for what? Develop? I have no idea what we're talking. I have no idea what you're talking. Are you saying we would develop faster if we got a bunch of vets and just played the vets? I have no idea what you're trying to say. Yeah, Huncho's right. Like, it's a rebuild. I'm just lost. I'm not trying to go at you. I'm genuinely lost. You say that, oh my God, we're going to be waiting forever to develop. And then you complained about developing Dejounte and Keldon. And then when I explained that, well, I mean, we wouldn't have Wemby if we didn't develop Dejounte. Then you said, yeah, I know that. We got assets. And now you're saying we need to stop playing the young guys. I have no idea. I don't know what you want. I don't know what you want. I'm sorry. I'm really trying to keep up. I don't know, dude. I genuinely don't know what you mean. Sounds like we'd rather buy talent than build it. Oh, is that what you think P-Mart's saying? Maybe that's what he's saying. Yeah, that's a terrible idea. Don't do that. When you fast track the process like that, it almost always fails. It doesn't happen. It doesn't work. It just doesn't work. Yeah, see how far the Mavericks get. They attempted that. They do it every time. Every time they get a star, they do that. It usually doesn't work. Can't fast track it with just buying players. Now you give it a couple years, like 2-3 years, and then you can start doing that for sure. But yeah, you gotta get your core intact first. Kind of like the Warriors, man. Look at the Warriors. I mean, I don't even have to look at the Warriors. Look at the Spurs. We did that. I mean, well, we were a little fortunate because we already had kind of a veteran team when Timmy got here. But once the vets kind of got out of there and Timmy was like the vet or whatnot, it was continuous years of just getting vets, throwing them on the team because the team was already developed and everything. Tony was already developed, Manu was developed, and you just like, oh, let's go ahead and keep going for these rings. But we're not at that point yet. We're like past step one. Like step one is, or we're on step two. Step one is get your superstar. We got that. Now step two is see what you got and then start developing players, get some more draft assets, or not draft assets, draft picks. But the rebuild ain't over. But once we're established, once we're good, I think, and I don't think this will take that long. The more I watch the Spurs team, the more I'm realizing I don't think the process is going to be as like terrible as we might have expected before. I don't think it'll take that long. Wemby shot the ball pretty efficiently tonight. He did. It was just the end where he started slipping up quite a bit, but it's okay. Young players, it is what it is. All right, so this is what I want to talk about. All right, chat. listen, this is what I want to talk about. Just this game as a whole, how I feel about it. This was, in my opinion, the worst loss of the season. Now, the reason why I think that this is the worst loss of the season has nothing to do with the fact that the Spurs lost a close game. It has nothing to do with anything that our team did. Like, as far as like, did they play terrible? Did they, just play like losers? Was it no effort or anything? It's none of that. The reason why I think that this is the worst loss for me personally is because I felt like the team had one of the most complete games of the season. Like, there were so many adjustments. You could see the improvement from game 1 to now, and it's just gut-wrenching the fact that they lost this one. But I know that this sounds like a broken record, but we can blame it. Like, this is why games ago or weeks ago I kept saying, and I continue to say, stop blaming one player. Stop blaming one player. Stop blaming just the coach, just Popovich. Stop blaming just. I never once just blamed Keldon. Like, don't just blame one player. It's not that simple. Like, you want to come out of this game and say it was Sochan's fault. Well, Sochan also had a very clutch 3 at the end. He had 33 points as a whole, and he had a clutch steal at the end. And it was bad officiating, whatever. But don't just blame one player. If we start playing that game, then every game, it's like when someone has a poor game, you just blame him. You just blame Malaki, right? If he didn't go 1 for 5, if he went 2 for 5, we would have won this game. No, it doesn't necessarily work like that, okay? You said blame the turnovers. That's fine. I was gonna actually be a little bit more broad. I blame experience. That's it. That's it. I feel like a lot of Spurs fans forget that we were actually in the other driver's seat before. Like, at one point we were the veteran team that always finished games, that always took younger teams out. What would happen when we go against younger teams? They didn't know how to finish. As talented as they were, and we're not even at the point of some of these teams I'm talking about. Like, we're talking about like OKC, young OKC team, or the young Golden State Warriors team. Like, we're not even at that point yet. Like, we're still, we still got to get some more assets, some more players and whatnot. But all I'm trying to say is, at one point we were the vets. We were the ones that had the poise and knew how to, finish, and we had the superstar that could do that. Now we're on the other end right now, right? We're on the other side of the gun. And the San Antonio Spurs, as it stands right now, we're just a young team. We don't know how to finish. And this game, I felt like individually we finished pretty strong. Like, Sochan finished strong for the most part. Wemby slipped up quite a bit, at the end, but it's just no one individual player. And I feel like we need to take the positives out of this game, because while it is frustrating, and this is the worst one, okay, this one actually had me upset. Like, it had me more upset than even the other ones, because we had a more complete game, and it felt like a more controlled game, but it wasn't controlled for the complete complete 4 quarters. Like, a lot of what we saw last season, because people say the Spurs gotten worse this season. I don't think that's true. I don't think that's true at all. We had a very tough record thus far. I will say that. I don't think the Spurs have gotten worse last season. What I saw last season was a lot of the Spurs looking okay, hanging in there the first 2 quarters, and then as soon as the 3rd quarter hit, all out the window. We're completely trashed for the remainder of the game. Okay, we're just getting like bashed the remainder of the game. Now it seems like it comes kind of in spurts, like this unattentiveness, this lack of awareness, these turnovers. It kind of comes in like small waves, and they just have to start cleaning it up a little bit. Because I truly do believe that as the game went on, they had a pretty complete game, but it was just times in the 3rd quarter and the 4th quarter where it was like, guys, get it. Come on, get it. Yeah, let's get it back. Let's get it back where it needs to be. I mean, the fact that we scored 39 in the 3rd quarter, and kept and stayed in. I mean, that's huge. But I don't know. It seemed like once Wemby came out, I think at one point when Sochan came out, it's like we just kind of, I don't know. We had some brain lapses. So I think at the end of the day, it does come down to just experience. They're just not experienced in finishing these games. And it's not necessarily only in the last 2 minutes of the game at finishing. No, you gotta you gotta holding your lead and staying strong with that. I mean, that's the third, that's the fourth, you know. And I feel like the Spurs have gotten better. They're having more complete games, but it's not the full 4 quarters yet. We're not there yet. Yeah. I mean, and I'm thinking back at those old Spurs teams, man, and maybe this is a little bit of revisionist history. Maybe it's just how like fondness or the amount of fondness I have for those teams, but like I don't recall them having that many mental lapses. Like it was like maybe a few plays, like maybe a few plays. But that was just not the case with this team right now. So it's just a young team. And when you start to forget that we're a young team, just think about when the Spurs would go against these young teams, man. Like, yeah, we would demolish them. It didn't mean they didn't have effort. It didn't mean that they didn't try hard or play hard or anything like that. It just came down to they just weren't experienced. And I think that's what this one came down to. It was just experience. Unfortunately, it was literally a player killing us, Trae Young. That was unfortunate because he had all the experience in the world. Well, him and Dejounte, right? Him and Dejounte got experience. Dejounte knows how to finish a game, you know. But man, I'll be honest though, I am happy DJing on this team. The way that he yelled at Bojanovic, hopefully I'm saying that right, Bojanovic, for not passing the ball to Trae Young, like when he was inbounding the ball, and he just like literally stopped half court to yell at him. I was like, oh my god, dude. And the fact that he kept trying Wemby, and it seemed like he was just trying to get a clip on Wemby. Like, I don't know. I didn't like it. It was kind of lame. But overall, I thought Trae Young just, man, he torched us. And when you guys kept talking about when it's, because he still really hasn't had it, but that welcome to the NBA moment for Wemby, no one will say this is it, but whatever that means, this is the closest thing to it, I think. I mean, Trae Young was having a field day. He didn't allow Wemby to affect him at all. He was so patient. And as soon as Wemby, like, hand was down, his head turned, it's out of his hands. It was masterful. It was masterful. Oh, thanks, Dylan. Hold on. What did you say? This one was tough because they had a real chance. Oh, they had a lot of these games they had chances. A lot of these games they had chances. They shouldn't have been in this position to begin with, but that just comes with experience. They stopped doing what got them the league to begin with. That ultimate ball movement just kind of went out the window, and then you started forcing shots, and the ball just becoming stagnant. It was ugly. It was ugly. And I really do think that this is a game where we would have really benefited with Doug McDermott playing. But I don't know. I don't really know what happened there. Is it just me, or is it kind of weird that Mamu isn't getting minutes? Mamu Kelashvili. Hopefully I said that. Mamu Kelashvili. Kelashvili. Machiavelli. Come with me. Let's see. They said he had a hip. Yeah, you're talking about Wemby. Hold on, I'm just gonna read some of these comments and see what you guys are talking about. Swap Mamu for Collins. Not a clean swap. Not a clean swap. Honestly, I just don't think. Like, here's the thing. Okay, Zach Collins, his passing ability is really good, and I think that at this point is really keeping him in the game as well. But I don't think that we're getting as much utility as we thought we would out of him in that starting lineup. Because I thought that the main thing was that he was going to space the floor. But he hasn't been a great space floor. That's like a space floor. Space floor? Is that how? I guess that's how you could say it. Space floor this season. Oh, you told me it's Mamu Kelashvili. Mamu Kelashvili. Okay. Machiavelli. Blows from a 12-gauge shotty. Feel me? Come with me. Yeah, we're weak passes. I don't even know what you respond to. I'm sorry. No, but Zach Collins, I think he's a really good passer. That's probably what's keeping him in the game, honestly. He had the most assists on our team. Him and Trae Young tied that up. Sochan had 6, but yeah, but no, I completely agree with you guys. Like him coming, I don't think that he should be like benched where he shouldn't get any playing time, but coming off the bench, I think it's perfectly fine. I've said this already. I love, and I'm hoping we'll see this in the next few games. I love coming off the bench, Zach Collins. Well, I'll just say the lineup I love. I love Zach Collins with Osman, McDermott, Malaki, and I always miss and Mamu. Yeah. I love that lineup. That lineup's so nasty. They play so well together. But starting, yeah, I think maybe we can stick Trae Young in there, stick Devin Vassell in there, and then move Wemby to the center. I think that's totally fine. I think that'll be a really good lineup. But and obviously Sochan, once Trae Young sits down, he should get like most like playoff duties. I mean not playoffs, I'd say point guard duties. Floor spacer. What was I saying? Space floor? Oh my god. Yeah, floor spacer. What the heck is wrong with me? The heck? I had it twisted. Tell Wemby to stop settling for threes. To go up, wait, too good of a shooter to keep rotating out to the 3-point line? Well, Ruru, a lot of times I think Wemby, I feel like Wemby isn't really getting the ball. First, okay, Wemby's getting the ball. I'm sorry, I shouldn't have stopped it there. Wemby, he doesn't necessarily have like a go-to right now, right? Like a lot of superstars and a lot of stars, as you know, as it goes on, they have like a signature. They have a thing that they go to, their bread and butter. I don't necessarily think Wemby has a bread and butter offensively yet. And as it stands right now, the guys just aren't necessarily getting him in those points where he could be effective around the rim, right? So a lot of times he is resorting to going back out to that 3-point line. But then here's the thing. When you have Zach Collins and he's playing with Zach Collins, if you have Zach Collins who's not necessarily spacing the floor, then who's taking up the space in the paint? He is. That's why I think it's not necessarily working as well as we want it to work. I'm just being honest. I mean, if you pay attention, a lot of times that space in the paint is taken up. But so it's a mixture of they're not necessarily finding him. They're still not 100% comfortable in making those bad passes because anybody else is a bad pass. And then on top of it, you got the paint that's kind of taken up right now. So Wemby is kind of, I don't want to say settling, but yeah, he's kind of around mid-range to 3-point line right now. You know, long shots. I mean, it's not really much he can do. It's fine. It's not all Zach Collins' fault. That's my thing, bro. I think that's the main thing I want to get across with this. It's not one player's fault. It's not. It's just, I think it just really comes down to experience. And another thing too, like we can talk about how, well, Sochan had a year under his belt. Keldon had some years under his belt. Vassell had years under his belt. The thing is, these guys have not played together. There's a lot of new players on this team. There is. It's a lot of new players. Even Vassell coming into the lineup, he barely played last season. So that's an adjustment. Sochan's being moved positions, you know, to harness in on his skills. That's a whole new thing. Wembanyama being on the team. I mean, you got this superstar caliber talent, and you're still trying to figure him out. I mean, he's nothing anybody has ever seen before. And when you don't have a point guard other than like Trey Jones, which I think Trey Jones is a suitable point guard, but I think he's more of a suitable like backup point guard. When it's all said and done, I think he's a really good like backup point guard, and he's like totally fine. But you don't have like a star point guard on this team to settle things down or anything like that. Like, could you imagine Trae Young with Wemby? Like it would be a little bit more controlled. So it's just a lot going on. Malaki Branham, like, while we want to say this is sophomore year, which it is, he's getting much more like opportunity. He's much more in the front line now than he was last season. Osman's new. You know, Bassey, he was hurt last season. I know he hasn't played a lot, but he's been hurt last season. So it's a lot of adjustments. So it's a mixture of, this is a young team, and this is also a young team that hasn't really played together a lot. Even Zach Collins, right? Like, yeah, Zach Collins was on the team last year, but Zach Collins, as far as his substantial minutes and being like concrete in the rotation, that didn't happen until after the Jakob Poeltl trade. So he's even fairly new and getting things going with the other players. So, Clan, it doesn't matter. Trey is much better point than Jeremy. Yeah. Okay. What's your point? Okay. So Trey Jones should just play point guard all game. Like, he should just play the entire game. I don't know your point. You want to get spicy? I'll get spicy. Let's get even spicier, okay? Not only is Trey Jones a better point guard than Sochan, Malaki is. You know why? Because Malaki has played point guard before. Sochan's never played point guard before. So, yeah. Yeah, we actually have 2 better point guards than Sochan. So, what's your point? So he should be on the floor with Wemby for the most part. Trey Jones played a lot of minutes with Wemby on this in this game, or he has. He's had played quite a few minutes with Wemby. But see, this is the thing, though. I don't even want to get in. We're not going down this rabbit hole. This game, let's just talk about this game. Let's talk about today. This game, this wasn't Sochan's fault. This had nothing to do with Sochan running point guard. This had nothing to do with it. And if you say otherwise, I don't know what game you're watching. I don't know what stats you're looking at. I don't know. I don't know what to tell you. But this game had nothing to do with that. So why are we even bringing this up? We in just tonight? No, look, yeah, just tonight. We're just talking about tonight. We're talking about tonight's game. This had nothing to do with anything. What you're bringing up has nothing to do with anything. Sochan hasn't been better. He's been doing better. It's fine. Whatever. This is going to be very beneficial later, okay? He's not going to be the point guard forever. He's not going to be the Spurs' next great point guard or nothing like that. That's not true. He's not going to be the next Tony Parker, but this is going to be very helpful in the future. When things need to be, what? No, I'm talking as a whole. I don't care. I'm only talking about this game. I don't care. The last several games, I've been pretty happy with the Spurs. So, yeah, I don't know what to tell you. Come on, Clan. We have Wemby. We should be undefeated. Wait, are you joking? Thanks for the super chat, but you got to be joking. I think you're joking. Wemby's great, but yeah, no, he's 19 years old. Oh, you are joking. Okay. Clan, we would have won if the NBA allowed a coach's challenge that late in the game. It is weird that they don't. It really was bad officiating, but I'm not gonna totally blame the officiating. I'm just gonna blame our experience because there were some lapses in there that really opened up the gate for the Hawks to get back in that game, and later finish it. They just finished better than us, and they only finished better than us because they had a superstar that knows how to finish. I mean, he was slicing and dicing us, man. Oh dang! I swear I did not steal that from you, super life. He just said Trey was slicing our defense up. Yeah, he was, dude. It was masterful. It was actually a beautiful sight to see. I'm not gonna lie to you. I was upset, but I was also like sitting back, like, wow, that was impressive. Feels like years since a dominant win. Calm down. I know it sucks. Like I said, this one sucked the most for me as well, but we're gonna be all right. It's gonna be okay. But experience. You're gonna hear a lot of that. But I do think that Spurs, it's gonna turn. The tide is gonna turn. The tide will turn. Last thing I'll say as well, I just want to bring this up because, God, that's a lot of L's. Look at all those L's on the left. But I do want to bring this up. While we have a we had a very tough season thus far. All right, let's just be real. All right, these are a lot of tough teams that we went against early on in the season. Things should start to turn around soon, hopefully. But I will say this: while things have been, not great, I don't think that our situation is as dire as another franchise's, which would be the Pistons. At least the Spurs, I know people say that they don't have a vision or whatever. It's like, no, there is a vision. You're trying to see what you got so you can make those next moves next season. But the Spurs understand what they need. They know that they're going to need a point guard. That's why they're allowing Sochan to get as many minutes as possible at point right now, because he's probably not going to get that in the future. So this type of experience is really good for us later on. But they know that. They know that they need another defensive, more than likely a defensive small forward. They know that they need another point guard. They know these things, but they're trying to evaluate the team right now, and then you start seeing what you got. Wemby doesn't even know his game 100%. So, like, it's really hard to build around him. But the Spurs are doing this in steps, and they only had to tank for one season, okay? Like, actively tank for one season. With that being said, though, we are not the Pistons. The Pistons, that's literally a team with no vision. They just constantly keep getting these players that make no sense as far as point guard. And this is years of this at this point. But if you look at the Spurs, the equivalent of us doing what the Pistons have done is if after this year we got Wemby, right? After this year, we go and get another 7-footer. And then the year after, we get another 7-footer. And then we get another guy that's like kind of similar to like Luka Samanic. And then we basically tell Wemby, all right, Wemby, make something happen. That is dysfunction. We are not at that point right now. Allow the Spurs to cook. We only tanked for one season. We tanked for one season. Most rookies coming into the league, even star rookies, number one overall picks, they don't have good seasons their first year. They just don't. Individually, they might, which Wemby is, defensively and offensively. He's having a pretty good season. But as far as the win-losses, there's usually a lot of L's. It is. It's usually a lot of L's. So it is what it is. Ruru, Sochan can kick rocks. He pissed me off. And I got no F's. Take the ish seriously, and I don't feel like he is. I have no idea what you're talking about. Yeah, that's Sochan. God, dude. Sochan, God, dude, he pissed me off too. You know what really pissed me off about this Sochan performance? This man had I can't believe he went 12 for 14. He went 12 for 14. We would have won if he went 13 for 14. But he went 12 for 14. 33 points. Gosh, dude. He should have had 30. He should have had 36. If he had 36, we win this game. 6 assists? Dude, if he had 7, we won this game. If it was a 7th assist for a 3, we would have won this game. A steal at the end of the game? God, if he had 2 steals, would have been an easy bat. Oh, that's Sochan. It's all his fault. Kick rock, Sochan. Hashtag blame Sochan. 5 turnovers. Yeah, if he had 4 turnovers, we would have won this game. Those 5 turnovers. He had 4, we would have won. Sochan. Then they hide his A from pressers, but Wemby got to do every media. Devin got to do every media. Now I'll put... Maybe they just don't want to talk to Sochan. And Sochan do pressers? Now you're trying to be funny, Clan, like condescending? Yeah, I am being condescending. I'm being like super condescending right now. Yeah, I am. Because it's silly. It's silly. I'm not blaming Sochan. That's silly. I don't know what to tell you. I'm not blaming Sochan. Also, one of these turnovers was him actively trying to get the ball to Wemby on a lob that everyone criticized him for. They criticized him for a lob that he didn't make that resulted in a lob from Trey Jones on a fast break. Like they got mad at Sochan for making a pass to Trey Jones that resulted in an and one. He can't win. He can't win. People just, I don't know. I think Sochan is an easy target because he has the most personality on the team. When he don't do it anymore, but he used to change his hair color all the time. I don't know. He's just an easy target, I guess. And Sochan's like 20, right? He's like 20 years old. I mean, Wemby's only a year younger. Why aren't we blaming Wemby for like those bad shots at the end? You get what I'm saying? I'm not blaming Wemby. I think that's silly. But if we're going to be consistent, let's just blame Wemby for it. Just blame Wemby too. Let's just blame everybody. Let me see. I think he's 20. Let me see. Yeah, he's 20. He's not even near 21 yet. Sochan is not a rookie. No, he's not. He's a sophomore. Okay. Wait, is that the criteria? Like after 1 year, now everything's off the table. Like now it's like now we can just heavily criticize you to oblivion. Like that's all it takes is just 1 year. Because for me, it takes 4 years. Like once a player hits the 4-year mark, then I'm very open to like say, okay, let's see where they're at. Now I'm gonna criticize a little bit. Like Chet not a rookie? Yeah, Chet's not a rookie either. True. I blame Dejounte. I blame Trae Young. I just don't blame a second-year player. I think that's silly. Yeah, that's a silly thing to do. Like, I'm not gonna go in. I'm not gonna make a whole video about Malaki Branham. Like, Malaki Branham, he went 1 for 5. He's the problem. Like, who? Why? He's like 16 years old. Like, what? Why are we blaming? No, dude. Now, if we wanted to get on to like Osman, if he made some like critical, like he went 1 for 7. Like, we want to get on to him. Sure, it's like, dude, come on. You know you gotta play better than that, right? That's fine. Even if you want to get on Devin Vassell or Keldon, like I'll accept that, right? Like I think that's fine. I mean, they've been in the league long enough where I think criticism is merited. That's fine. But like going in on Sochan, who's like 20 years old, no, I forbid. I will not do that. I'm sorry. Wemby's 19, Sochan's 20. I'm not going in on any of these players. I'm not going in on Malaki. I just don't. You don't even know what they're going to be yet. I think Sochan's going to be a star. And I think Wemby's going to be a superstar, obviously. I'm not sure about Malaki yet. I don't know yet. Lonnie inconsistent? Yeah, Lonnie. Yeah, we should have kept Lonnie. Yeah. This happens every single time. Every single time the Spurs get rid of a player that wasn't that great with us or was inconsistent with us or wasn't very efficient with us. Like, they go somewhere else, they do okay, and then we say we should have kept them. Did it with Brent Forbes, did it with Jonathan Simmons. This clockwork, you do it all the time. Every single time. Every single time the Spurs get rid of somebody, they should have kept them. Good God. Like, I even seen people do it with Dejounte. We should have kept Dejounte Murray. Completely ignoring the fact that the only reason we got Wemby was because we traded Dejounte Murray. Like, just whatever, you know? Just whatever. We should have kept this player, should have kept that player, should have kept this player. And completely ignore the fact that the Spurs have had some of the most success than any other team as far as drafting. Like, look at our starting lineup. Like, this isn't necessarily like normal. And this happens all the time. It's not just this year, right? This happens all the time. But like, these are all guys we drafted. Like, and if you want to sit back and say, well, it doesn't matter because they're not that good. Well, were you saying that about Vassell as well? Because Vassell has developed into a really good player. I mean, really good player. But look at this team. Vassell, Trey Jones. Bassey, we just signed him. Blake Wesley hasn't played. I won't count him. Don Barlow didn't play. I won't count him. But yeah, Branham, Wemby, Keldon, Sochan, all guys you drafted. That's getting NBA minutes and deserve NBA minutes. It's not like we're just giving it to them. No, they deserve NBA minutes. These aren't third stringers. They deserve NBA minutes. These aren't G Leaguers. They put up 135 points tonight. It's the guys that deserve it. Keldon's on year 5 and respect him when we took Luka Samanic before him. What? I don't know. That's another thing too. People bring up the Luka Samanic thing and blame Brian Wright for it when literally he didn't draft Luka Samanic. That was RC's guy. I don't know. It's kind of weird. People do that a lot. Lucas Omnich had he had potential, but I mean, I heard that too. When we got rid of him, people said we should have kept Luka. Like, see, every single time a player leaves, we should have kept him. It's dumb. They do it with Primo. After what happened with Primo, people still do it. We should have kept Primo. Like, Davis Bertans. Davis Bertans another one. Yep, I've seen that one a lot too. We should have kept Davis. Forbes is trash, but he's better than Malaki. Forbes. So when Forbes came to the Spurs, how old was he? And Forbes didn't start off great. I know he was undrafted. Let me see if I can just find all his stats. Would it be on ESPN? I guess it would be. Career. See y'all. How old was Forbes when? Does anyone know how old Forbes was when he first started playing for the Spurs? But his first year, didn't play that much. Averaged 2 points. Sophomore year, played 19 minutes and averaged 7 points. And then third year, 28 minutes, 11 points. Fourth year, 25 minutes, 11 points. I don't know. So let's see. This is not a great comparison. It's not going to be a great comparison. It's not going to be 1-to-1 or anything like that. But let's see. So if we look at, on the left is Malaki. So this is his second year. He's averaging 8.5 points on 20 minutes. And his second year, he was averaging almost 20 minutes, but 7 points. So as far as scoring wise, Malaki is better. And I would even argue that Malaki was much better. And the reason why I would say that is because, or Malaki is much better. And the reason why I would say that is because Malaki didn't necessarily have the amount of talent that even Bryn Forbes had around him during that season, during that second season. I mean, yeah, you got Wemby, but you guys know what I'm saying. Like, you had some veteran star. You had a veteran star on that team. 2 veteran stars on that team. So that really helped him quite a bit. Helped his numbers quite a bit. So Malaki is just kind of out there right now, figuring it out. They didn't let Lonnie show out, man. How many years was he out with us? Dude, I'm sorry. I watched these games. Lonnie Walker was very inconsistent. It's not that they didn't allow him to show out. He was very inconsistent. I mean, he would have mental lapses on defense pretty often. It was many games where he wouldn't be aggressive at all, even when he had the opportunity to be. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, this is just revisionist history at this point. Lonnie was injured with us a lot. This is just revisionist history at this point. The team is losing, so it's very easy to... You got to blame something, right? Maybe it's the fact that the Spurs didn't keep this player, or they didn't do it this way, or... No, dude, it's just experience. And that's kind of a hard pill to swallow, because there's not much you can do with that. And it also feels a little hopeless, because it's like this is going to be probably a continuous issue for most of the season. So it's like you don't want to believe that. So it's very easy to start pointing towards things that you could have done. And it's like, not really. Like, you just don't have really control over what's going on right here. You know? Lonnie had a game. Like, a game that was memorable for the Spurs. He had a game. A couple plays, but really a game. Can you talk about Wemby's 3-point shot? It's all gone. He's always had a pretty inconsistent 3-point shot. It's just going to be very similar to what Sochan had to do, where he probably had to put up thousands upon thousands upon thousands of jump shots this offseason to correct it. Wemby's going to have to do the same thing. He's going to struggle from 3 all season long. It usually doesn't change in the middle of a season. It might improve a little bit, but it won't be like a substantial shift. But he has a nice form. He'll get it. He just got to work on it with, NBA coaches, and he'll be all right. That was another thing. You remember the panic when we lost the shot doctor? Good God, the amount of panic that came from that. And at the time, like, my main thing was, yeah, he's a phenomenal coach, but like, you don't think that nothing's passed down to any proteges, not passed down to like any of the other coaches? No one noticed what he was doing, some of the philosophy that he had. You don't think he affected the franchise as a whole? Of course they're going to know how to help players shoot in the future. Obviously they would still know how to do it. Like, why would you think otherwise? And there's other great shooting coaches out there. Like, why would you think that they wouldn't be able? It's not like he's the only one in the league that has coached players improving their shots. Like, other players in the league, shots have been improved without him. So why did we think that we couldn't do it without him? And obviously Sochan's proven that. His shooting has been great. And don't get too upset about Malaki. Like I said, it's only his second year. Really his first year of getting like real usage. I mean, last season, like, don't get me wrong, like, you can look at the numbers here. Like, last season, 23.5 minutes. But the way that they're using him this season, it's a little bit more. It's a little bit more on him. Like, they have him running point guard oftentimes. I don't really like how things have gone with Malaki, as far as like, he's more of just a spot up 3 guy now, and that's terrible. That's terrible. Like, he shouldn't be just a spot up 3-point guy. Like, that's not his game. So that kind of bothers me a little bit, but it's all right. Malaki is a worse shooter and defender than Lonnie. Just give him some time. He's a better shooter than Lonnie. Just give him some time. So like I said, only second year. Don't trip about it. Right now, yes, Lonnie in his whatever year might be a better NBA player than Malaki, but Malaki is like a kid. Just give it a minute. Malaki should run point. He can run point. That's a good point. It's a really good point. Yeah. I mean, let's just not play that game, Let's not start just saying, well, this player's better than this player. This player's better than this player. It was like, yeah, like a lot of players are better than Wemby, so we're not at that point yet, Give it a minute. So, I mean, Giannis is better than Wemby, okay? I won't bite that bullet. Steph Curry's better than Wembanyama, okay? All right. That's all right. Ain't no wrong with that. How long, Pop? KJ defense is better this year. I'll say this. KJ hands are more active this year. Actually, I don't even know if that's 100% true. Hold on. Let's at least look at his steals. I'm not going to look up deflections and all that. I don't really feel like it, to be honest with you. No, it's kind of the same. Oh, actually, are all his? Yeah, no, it's the exact same. His steals are exact same. But I mean, eye test, just looking at the eye test, which isn't great, but his hands are more active. I don't really think he's that better of a defender. I feel like as this season went on, he's been a little bit better. I haven't really paid attention to what the Spurs are doing to kind of help that, but I haven't seen teams actively just go at Keldon, and that's been a thing. I noticed the Spurs went into zone at one point in this game, but I don't know. I haven't seen players just go with Keldon maybe the past 4 games. I test his defense is worse than the starting 5. Oh, yeah. Yeah, for sure. I just don't think his defense is like that much better this season. From what I've seen, it just doesn't feel like it. I could be wrong, but it did. His hands seem a little bit more active. That's about it. I don't know. And you're probably talking about that steal he had, that really big steal he had near the end. I think it was near the end. I think it was in the 4th quarter. Wemby not winning Rookie of the Year is gonna be disappointment to his fan base. He'll win it. Can we stop with Lonnie? Lonnie gone? Yeah, Lonnie, yeah. Also, I find it very funny because no one was saying this last season. Like, why didn't the Lakers play Lonnie, you know? Like, you want to criticize the Spurs. Like, oh, you didn't play Lonnie. They played Lonnie quite a bit. And I was on the Lonnie bandwagon, like, praying that it would get better. And he just didn't. Just after time, it was just like, yeah, guys, this is what we're going to get right now, you know? Yeah, he'll be Rookie of the Year. Y'all can't be for real. The NBA is trying to tap Wemby's international audience, and these L's are not good for business, and embrace him. He's still getting a lot of play as far as ESPN, just overall talk. He still gets a lot of play. It's fine. People know. I mean, some people don't, but people know. Like, yeah, I didn't understand people coming into the season thinking that the Spurs were going to be like playoff contender. I didn't think that. I still think we can get to probably 34 wins, 35, 34, maybe a little bit less. But I wasn't expecting the Spurs to be like world beaters. Also, with our schedule, I was like, oh my goodness, our schedule is terrible. But we'll see what happens next game. I think hopefully everyone plays. We really need that one. We need a win. We need one win. You just need one win. It's been too long without one. You do need a win. I will say that. They need to get a win. I was watching your old video when you were ranting Pick a Sides podcast. That had me laughing. I don't even remember that. Who is Pick a Side? I don't even know. I don't even know who Pick a Side. Who is Pick a Side? Oh, them. What were we talking about? Oh, gosh. I remember them. I just don't. Their channel was doing well at the time. Is it still doing well? Yes, it's doing well. 2.5. No, 53. 53K. Yeah, I thought it was quite a few subscribers. Good for them. They're definitely entertaining. Oh, no.
Victor Wembanyama's Mojo stock price dropped.
Highly anticipated.
And
did they? Oh, snap. They're sponsored with Mojo just like me. We're one and the same. We both have that sponsorship. What the heck? We both have that. We both have that. I think that'd be an interesting segment. I need to write that down. This is probably, maybe we can react to this. Let me put it in my notes. Their title got me intrigued, saying that Wemby's overhyped. That got me intrigued. After we drafted Primo. Oh, yeah, they were saying like we're bad at drafting or something. Yeah, that was crazy. I remember that. Yeah, they were like, the Spurs are so bad at drafting. It's like, what are you talking about? Yeah, I remember that. That was wild. I was like, when? When have we been bad at drafting? All right, guys. I'm going to go ahead and get off. It's getting late. I will be on tomorrow night, and we'll have much more fun because I'll go over plenty of other things. But just for tonight, I mean, look, we got a game tomorrow. What's the point? I'll upload the segment. If you guys missed it, we talked a little bit about who I blame for this loss and just experience. So I'll upload that tomorrow, and then we'll go live tomorrow. But calm down, Ruru. Ruru's just upset. Ruru, when you're like this, I can't even have can't have a constructive argument with you. You're upset. I understand. It's a frustrating loss. Frustrating losses, but this one upset me the most. It upset me the most. So, let's bring the positivity. We'll be all right. It's no big deal. It's no big deal. I hate this loss in particular, but yeah. That's funny. Yeah. Yeah, we're gonna have to do a lot of we're gonna do some ad reads tomorrow too. We beating Zion, don't worry. It's gonna be fun. Thought we had it. We should have had it, but it is what it is. All right, guys. I'll give it to you later. You have a good night. I'll see you tomorrow, okay? All right. Bye. Bye. Where's my... Oh, here it is. Bye. Wildest... Wait, hold on. Wildest take you heard today? Wildest take I heard today was it's Wemby's fault. I don't know. That this loss is Wemby's fault. Oh. All right. Talk to you later. Oh, wait. I'm Coach Popham like... I pop him like I'm coaching Victor Wembanyama. Yeah, that's dope. All right, guys.